Good evening and welcome to Vsb News Online for Thursday, March the 19th. I'm Charles Webb. The Bermuda Police Service confirmed today that the Speaker of the House, Randolph Horton, has filed a criminal complaint against opposition leader Mark Bean. The grounds of the complaint have not been released, but an investigation is being conducted into whether the complaint is valid and could lead to a charge being laid. The Monday fracas in the Parliament but saw harsh words being directed and motions of censure laid against the Speaker, and Mr. Bean is not likely to have been the issue behind the complaint, as members are usually protected by the rules of the House from such procedures if they take place in the chamber. Bermuda's popular early morning greeter Johnny Barnes was reportedly involved in an incident this morning at the roundabout at the foot of the lane. He later told Vsb News' Brian Darby that despite being pushed into the road by a mystery woman, he was unhurt and will be back at his post tomorrow morning.
Some ladies came down and they wanted to have a sign down there, you know.
Right.
And I told them yes. So they were there. So about an hour, I saw another lady coming down there, talking to them. And I never seen the lady before. And she came in and she says, you have a light? I said, no, I don't smoke. And I know that the three that was there, they don't smoke. So I said, go to the bus stop and get a light. You get a light over there, on somebody over there. So she kept talking to the other people that was there. Then she came back, she says, I'm not going to your funeral. So I didn't pay no mind. So about a half hour she came back. She says, you got a light? I said, I tell you, I do not smoke, and I go to the bus stop and get a light. So when I turned my back, she pushed me.
Oh no.
Yes, pushed me out in the traffic. And so happened the press that was coming, and they just slowed down. And I couldn't get up. So when I tried to get up, she pushed me down again.
So you were on the ground?
Yes, right on the ground. Right.
In the traffic?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So the fellow that was there with the lady, he came in and tried to get me up. He said, can you get up? I said, no, I can't get up. So he lifted me up and put me on my feet.
On your chair?
He said, are you all right? I said, I'm all right. I said, I don't know what's wrong with that lady. He says, I haven't seen her before. So she left. So they called the police.
Well.
Yes.
Well, I can tell your many loving friends that you're okay. That's what people have been calling to ask. Are you all right? Would you be there tomorrow morning?
Yes, with life.
Okay, love. That's wonderful to hear.
Thank you.
Works Minister Craig Cannonier has clarified his statement regarding the sales agreement with the former Grand Atlantic property and its conversion into a tourism property. Vsb News' Brian Darby reads his statement.
Mr. Cannonier said that the final conceptual presentation of the plans and feasibility data for the Grand Atlantic property had been submitted by the McClellan and Associates. The government is moving forward with their review and due diligence to ensure that all conditions presented in the MOU have been met. The intent of the government has always been that the project would include the sale of the property and a significant long-term investment in the improvement of the amenities of the property. The improvements will provide short and long-term jobs and economic growth to the Bermuda economy and help to stimulate the tourism industry. The current developer's budget for conversion of the property is $24.5 million. Negotiations are at a very sensitive stage, he said, and once concluded, the full terms of an agreement will be released to the public. Brian Darby reporting for Vsb News.
If you want to get Jennifer Grace started, just mention turtles. The executive director of the Bermuda National Trust is passionate about these creatures and feels they should be factored more into our tourism promotions.
I think that sea turtles are a part of the pristine beauty of Bermuda's reef system, Bermuda's oceans. They actually could be used more as a draw for tourism. There are other islands and countries that have sea turtles as their banner. Come to a Cayman and see the turtles. So yes, I think it makes a huge difference. And when a visitor sees a turtle in Bermuda, they get very, very excited. It's not something that most North Americans experience.
So why do you get excited about turtles?
I'm passionate about Bermuda. I'm passionate about all wildlife. I got my first experience with sea turtles was as a young girl when I got to go out on Clay Frick's boat. And it's just stuck with me ever since. I wanted to be the world's first female Jacques Cousteau. That didn't happen. But on a Bermuda scale, I just immersed myself in learning as much as I could. I had some wonderful, wonderful mentors that brought me into this project. And it really has been what drives my soul over many years.
And what would you say is the future of sea turtles in Bermuda?
That's actually a very exciting question, Charles, because our sea turtle population that nested in Bermuda was completely wiped out by man. We ate them all, and if it wasn't us, it was those other New World explorers. However, in 1990 and again in 2005, we had a turtle nesting events on Cooper's Island in Bermuda. Cooper's Island has now been made a sanctuary, a nature reserve. It's completely protected. So I see the future of sea turtles in Bermuda being where our children can watch them nesting on beaches and seeing little hatchlings swim out to sea. It's going to be very exciting. I wish I was going to be around to see that, but they take some 50 years just to reach maturity.
And we'll be back with more news after this.
The Marketplace Food Court is you and your family's one-stop shop. Start your day at the Breakfast Bar with omelets made to order and traditional Bermuda codfish breakfast. The chefs will cook lunch and dinner to your liking. Along with the salad bar, sandwich bar, sushi bar, and fruit bar, the Marketplace Food Court is your kitchen away from home. Every day is hassle-free with nutritious meals from the Marketplace Food Court. Visit us 7 days a week. Homemade cooking, quality service, all at prices you can count on.
50 scouts from the 1st Binbrook and the 27th Cambridge in Hamilton, Ontario, are spending their March break in Bermuda. And what may not excite our tourism bednight encounters is that they are camping on the beach below Warwick Camp, a stone throw from the Fairmont Southampton Resort. Colin Tozer tells me that in spite of their Spartan living, they're having a whale of a time.
We arrived on Sunday. So far we have biked all the way out to Ireland. We visited the fort out there. We went to the lighthouse. We've gone on and swam in the lake. Sorry, not the lake. I'm used to the lake because Hamilton's on a lake. Right. Swam in the ocean. Right. We had a fire on the beach last night. The kids are camping. They're all working well together, making their own meals. They get up at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Now, I understand you also met with the governor.
Yes, we did. We met with the governor on Monday morning when we first arrived. The Chief Scout of Bermuda came out and introduced himself to the kids and had a great time and had a few jokes, and we challenged him to put up a tent.
Did he succeed in putting up a tent? Be diplomatic.
I'll be polite about it. He had his challenges, but I think he did very well, and the kids were pretty proud of him. So we changed cordial invites, and we have a meeting with Scouts Bermuda on Friday. We're going to be making some Bermudan kites and flying those, and we're going up to the caves on Saturday.
So what do you think your group will take away from this trip? What is the most important thing you think they'll take away from this trip?
Oh, well, for some of them, this is the first time they've been out of Canada. So myself, actually, this is the first time I've been out international. I've been to the Americas, but other than that, this is my first international trip. So from an international perspective, they get a nice introduction to different people from different cultures, an understanding of the environment. We'll be doing some snorkeling and some diving later on in the week as well. They've had some water sports stuff go on. So they're going to be getting quite a few merit badges, I think, when we're finished this.
Now, can we anticipate some of them making a return visit?
Oh, I think so. I've already planned my second visit already.
In a traditional ceremony of the Supreme Court this afternoon, Jerome Lynch QC was called to the Bermuda Bar before an audience of his friends and colleagues. What makes him interesting is that he's been practicing in Britain for 31 years, 15 of those years as a QC, and has spent the last year engaged in practical training with Trotton Duncan. He told Vsb News' Brian Darby that what attracted him to the stay in Bermuda is the high quality of the judiciary and its lawyers.
I've been practicing law for 32 years, and I didn't really expect at this stage in my career to be doing something completely different, which I am now, practicing here in Bermuda.
So variety is the spice of life?
Well, apparently. I'm working on that.
Are you able to speak to the young? I mean, we have a lot of young Bermudians getting into the law, and you wonder, is there room for them? But from what I hear, there is.
I think so. I'm old now, and with a few years left, perhaps. But it's really about the youngsters, and I take great pleasure in helping them as much as I can. And I've taught here both advocacy, ethics, and other useful skills for young lawyers. We have young people here in this office, and I get great pleasure in helping them.
You've taken interest in the Bar Association and its work?
I have, yes. In fact, I'm organising a training programme to train trainers so that they might be better pupil masters, and we have better advocacy skills associated with the young bar in this country.
Well, in all modesty, a QC is a pretty special creature, and we're having trouble deciding whether we want to be QCs again. Do you join in that debate?
Oh, I do. I welcome the idea, providing I'm on the committee.
Well, there'll be one of those, will there?
I imagine there will be. There's a committee for everything.
But it's nice to have your peers give you a little bit more, I suppose, acknowledgement.
It is. It depends on the process, doesn't it? I mean, they changed the process in the United Kingdom quite considerably in years gone by.
What does it really mean to a Bermuda bar, having a QC?
Well, I'm not sure it means a great deal having a QC. I think certainly having someone with advocacy skills is a good thing. And from what I've seen, there are already some very good advocates at the bar here in Bermuda.
You never knew Julian Hall, I suppose, did you?
I've heard much about him, and he was unquestionably a great advocate. But there are some pretty good ones around today.
No, some people say you're born with it, and some people you'll say you learn it. I think Julian was born with it. How about you?
I'd like to think I perhaps was born with it. You can teach good advocacy. You can't teach great advocacy.
What's your favourite subject?
I just like being in court. It doesn't matter to me what the subject is. A jury is always a little more entertaining, because that way you can cross the judge and not worry about it.
There's a bit of theatre in it, isn't there?
Inevitably, there's theatre involved in being in court. It is part of the adversarial system that the Commonwealth countries have adhered to since the creation of it, really. And I mean, I welcome it. I still think it's the best system in the world. I'm not an advocate of the inquisitorial, which is much used elsewhere.
The 4th Beach Art Festival is just around the corner, and organizer Ricky Garay is pleased to have already registered 10 entrants. More important, she's been able to attract professional beach artist Tony Plant to come here from Cornwall, England, to conduct the popular free works over the next week.
This year, the 4th year, we're having our Bermuda Beach Art Festival, and we've got 4 workshops this year. We've increased them. We've got a new website for the Bermuda Beach Art Festival. Makes it easier for people to enter. By the way, it's free to enter, and it's easy to see who's got what beach, so what beaches are left over for you to enter on. And you can see past entries, and also, the workshop is this Saturday from 3 to 5:30 at Horseshoe Bay with our guest beach artist, Tony Plant, who's here with us from Cornwall. And you can learn little tips and techniques. If you're a little concerned, you're hesitant in entering, come on down to the beach and you'll see how easy it is. And also during the week, we have some workshops after work from 5:30 to 6.
Then we bring the whole thing off on the 28th?
It's the actual event, the Beach Art Festival, is on the 28th of March, and we have free yoga on 2 beaches, Horseshoe Bay and Elbow Beach, from 11 to 12. And we want to see every beach in Bermuda, people decorating, adorning the beach with beautiful artwork that will, of course, only last the day, but it's a homage to the beach and to the eternal life that we live.
Now, last year, I seem to remember, it was a really high standard, and you're going to be lucky to do better than that.
Every year we're getting better and better, and every year we're having more and more beaches. So I know already we've got 10 entries, so I'm sure we're going to have at least 30 by the day. Yeah.
And there are prizes.
There's $1,000 cash worth of cash prizes to be won. We've got teenager entry, family, and adult. And you can have a group of people enter. It doesn't have to be only one person.
And now it's time for VSB Sports with Earl Basden.
Bermuda had a mixed day on the tennis courts as the ITF Boys and Girls 14 World Junior Tennis 2015 North, Central American and Caribbean pre-qualifying tournament continued in the Dominican Republic yesterday. The Bermuda boys, playing in Group B, went down 2-1 to the Bahamas. Benjamin Nines went down in 3 sets to his opponent, 4-6, 6-2, 6-love. Richard Mallory then drew Bermuda level, winning his match in 3 sets, 7-6, 1-6, 6-4. The Bermuda pair of Lines and Mallory went down in straight sets in the doubles, 6-3, 6-1. The Bermuda girls, playing in the Group C, picked up their second win in 2 games with a 2-1 win over El Salvador. Imani Phillips began with a straight sets victory in the number 1 spot, 6-1, 6-2. Kayla Ming went down in a 3-setter, 6-3, 2-6, 7-5, as El Salvador drew level. The Bermuda doubles team of Phillips and Ming then defeated their doubles opponent in straight sets, 6-2, 6-2 to win the game. The 2015 Digicel Bermuda National Squash Championships quarterfinals took place at the Bermuda Squash Racket Association Club last evening. In the Men's Open PSA quarterfinals, Patrick Foster defeated John Fletcher 11-6, 12-10, 11-9, while Kristen Johnson got by Kristen Muldoon 12-10, 11-3, 11-1. Michael Franklin defeated Anthony White 11-1, 11-5, 11-2, and Noah Brown defeated Thomas Sherritt 11-3, 11-7, 11-2. In the ladies' quarterfinals, it saw Laura Robinson defeat Isabel Brewer 11-5, 11-3, 11-4. Susie Lacey got by Joanne Bilby 11-7, 11-3, 12-10, while Rachel Barnes defeated Megan Jackson 10-12, 11-3, 11-2, 11-1. And defending champion Runa Retta defeated Denise Kine 11-6, 11-2, 11-4. On day 2 of the Speedo Sectional Swimming Championships in Florida, Lisa Blackburn advanced to the women's 100 long course meter breaststroke consolation final. During the preliminaries, Blackburn clocked the 9th fastest qualifying time of 35 seconds flat. In the women's 100 long course breaststroke consolation final, Blackburn went even faster, clocking a personal best time of 34:14 on her way to finishing first. The final regular season matches in the Cell 1 Island Basketball League took place inside the Summersfield Academy Gymnasium last evening, where the doubleheader produced a total of 184 points between the 4 teams. In the opener, Skyforce defeated the Rimrockers 48-42. Ryan Walker and Corey Vance both scored 10 points each for Skyforce, while Ronnie Bushner had a game-high 18 points for the Rimrockers. The Crossfire Ballers defeated the Court Kings in the nightcap 54-40. Dean Jones, fresh off of the international tour to Guyana, scored a game-high 15 points for the Crossfire Ballers, while Scott Barnes scored 14 points for the Court Kings. The Bermuda School Sports Federation held the middle school track and field preliminaries at the National Sports Center yesterday. Zakeisha Parsons from T.N. Tatum ran the fastest under 12 girls 100-meter dash preliminary time of 13:04 to advance to the finals, while Saltus Grammar School student Koa Goodchild finished second, clocking 13:84, and Sand Secondary Middle School's Katoric Beaufort Trot finished third with a time of 14:18. Danae Lightbourne's under-12 girls 400-meter dash record of 101 flat was not bothered as Selah Tuzo finished first, clocking a time of 107.82, representing Saltus Grammar School. Danny Watson from T.N. Tatum finished second with a time of 112.03, and Whitney Institute student Nsay Aswood finished third with a time of 118.16. Leroy Lewis from Whitney Institute will go into the under-12 boys 100-meter dash final as the favorite after recording the fastest preliminary time of 13:41. Ricardo Tucker from the San Secondary Middle School finished second in a time of 13:41, and Nakai Dyer finished third, clocking 13:60, representing T.N. Tatum Middle School. Tyler Lopes was back in action competing at the Valaroma Atlantic 2015 International Horse Jumping event in Portugal. Competing in the 1.20-meter Table 2 phases, both phases Table A against the clock class, Lopes and Chikera finished 35th. The pair recorded a time of 47.62 and they had 16 penalty fault points. In a race marred by shocking injuries to two competitors who got caught in crossfire gunshots on the bike course, Mark Wilcox and Martina Olaseki-Bao produced excellent performances in the Ironman 70.3 in Puerto Rico. Despite struggling recently with a running injury, Wilcox finished an excellent second in the men's 45 to 49 age group with times of 33:33 during the 1.2-mile swim, which was the 19th fastest in his age group, 2:26:37 competing on the 56-mile bike course, which was the 7th fastest in his age group, and the 1:38:52 on the 13.1-mile run course for an overall time of 4 hours, 44 minutes, and 47 seconds. Olaseki-Bao finished 9th in the women's 30 to 34 age group with a time of 5 hours, 22 minutes, and 42 seconds. Olaseki-Bao clocked 31:11 on the swim course, which was the 4th fastest for her age group. She then rode the 14th fastest time in her age group of 2:52:16. She closed out with a 1:45:55 on the run course. I'm Earl Basden reporting for VSB Sports.
And now the weather for Friday, March the 20th. We're looking for sunny periods with a shower or two developing overnight. Winds will be northerly light to moderate, becoming variably and light during the morning, settling southerly by the afternoon to moderate by evening, increasing southerly moderate overnight. The high will be near 65 and the low near 59. Thanks for watching VSB News Online for Thursday, March the 19th. I'm Charles Webb.